Morning to you, AP.
Morning.
So the last couple of weeks, you said that the offensive side of the ball didn't look the way you wanted it to look. There's no way to dress up a loss, but that the offense, is that kind of what you meant yesterday? It looked better even though you lost?
I thought it was more efficient. I thought the passing game was more crisp. Got the ball out, foot hit the back. Quarterback's foot hit the back foot, and the ball got they go and completions. Did a good job getting the ball to our guys underneath. Obviously, we want to take shots down the field. Those opportunities didn't present themselves. Made some good clean throws, and obviously up until that last interception, took care of the football.
You threw, I think, 43 times. I know that's not what you ideally want to do, but do you see that as a one-off, or do you see that more what you expect to see?
I think the way the game started to go in the second half, try to stay balanced, try to establish running game early. Wasn't getting the runs that we wanted. Then we popped a couple, and then we had a few there that wish we been either the right read or have our aiming points all lined up with one another. But I don't think you don't see too many teams. I mean, I have to talk about other teams. There's other teams with really elite quarterbacks, and throwing the ball 40 times doesn't equal the wins. So you want to find that balance, and for us, that's what we're still searching for. But we were very efficient in the passing game. There were some better examples in the running game of getting a hat to a hat. Still have to clean that up. But overall, give us a chance to be competitive in the game.
How do you clean that up? The hats on the hats, the running game, because I know you want to run the rock, but how do you go about cleaning that up?
One is continuity, man. To be honest, not to use excuses, but I think that was our 6th or 7th different O-line grouping together, and just keeping those guys, communicating, moving the same direction, seeing the same thing. And I'm a defensive coach. Nobody's ever going to just sit there and let you just line up and tee off on them. So there's a lot of movement, a lot of shifts, different looks, and we have to do it, keep getting a better job in practice of just repping the same reps, same plays over and over versus different fronts and concepts.
Coach, any updates on JB or Jack or Samir or Alexander?
No, I do not. They're still going through treatment. Hopefully by later on this afternoon we will.
I mean, a lot of the passing was game script. You just kind of fell behind in the second half. So I guess if you would just take the first half, is that what you kind of want the offense to look like in terms of a bunch of different guys touching the ball, run pass down?
No, I thought we kept them off balance. I mean, you saw jet sweeps, you saw different guys touching the football, running backs in there. I thought Scott did a really good job of just spreading the ball around. I thought Gardner did a good job as well of managing the game, the operation. Jackson Powers declaring the center, all that stuff was really good in the first half. Competitive game. Obviously, we had 2 opportunities out in the red zone. We got to, instead of kicking field goals, we want to score touchdowns. But getting the ball in the second half, thought that would be another good opportunity for us to go down there and hopefully take a lead or tie the game up. But it didn't happen that way.
You mentioned JBJ. Gardner was pretty complimentary of the job that he's done moving over to center.
Yeah.
With a few game sample size now, how have you evaluated his body work?
I think it's pretty interesting to see a rookie go to a position he never played really much in college at left guard. Then 1 week, fill in for somebody that's injured, and then the next couple of weeks now I have to make all the calls. He's done a really good job. His energy, his presence, his physicality you see throughout the game. High effort, very smart football player. And when he's controlling the line of scrimmage as being the center making the calls, you see his personality come out more and more. And that's where you see those leaderships from a young player start to stand out. I think that's really good for our team. The more guys we can have talking up and taking that leadership role, regardless of their age or experience or money or draft, the better for us.
What was it that you were able to identify that Miami was doing to keep you guys off balance defensively, where you just couldn't get off the field when you had that opportunity?
But really, we had 3 third-down penalties. So it's really the Raiders beating the Raiders on that one, right? So 3rd and 20, we get a holding call, uncalled for. I believe we had an offsides penalty, then we had a holding penalty late in the game. So technique, fundamental things that we're coaching up. We can't do it in critical moments like that. Situational football, that's a 4-point swing there, right? Because they scored a touchdown instead of a field goal. So those are things I thought early on they were mixing up, different route concepts, looking for man, zone beaters, things of that nature. And we tried to, it's that chess matchup, and obviously their quarterback did a good job getting the ball out of his hand very quickly.
Coach, back-to-back visits on the red zone ends up with field goals as opposed to getting to the touchdown, obviously early on, not what you want to see, but you had a strong emphasis on that right from the beginning.
Yep.
What do you think you still need to work on in order to complete?
It's decision making, right? It's getting the ball out quick, and obviously getting positive yards. I think too often you see us down in the red zone. First play might be a good play, and the second or third one doesn't seem to go our direction or our way. And then just taking shots, right? You got to take shots into the end zone, right? Throwing the ball short. You love to see all the yak and all that good stuff, making guys miss, but you have better opportunities when you throw the ball in the end zone.
And what you saw from Gardner yesterday, do you still believe he's the #1, the best quarterback at this moment?
He'll be the quarterback this week.
How did the communication go? I mean, obviously, when you make a change on a staff like that, the communication is a challenge to get ready for.
No, just make a decision, next man up, roll, no different than we do with the players.
Antonio, during this really trying time as coach of the Raiders, what do you think are some of the things you're learning from these tough times that are making you a better coach going forward?
Patience. You know, because listen, you hear it from our players. We're putting in the work. I mean, they're in there doing it now in the weight room. We're doing everything, and we're grinding. And you know, you get out there on the field, you put a game plan together, you go out there, and you're competitive again for another half. You know, 6-10 ball game. And then we just got to find a way in that second half, man, to get over this hurdle of not finishing games. Either not getting off the field, not finishing drives in the end zone, keeping the opponent off the field on third down, you know, not being on mistakes with penalties at crucial moments in the game. But I would say the one word is just patience. And it's nothing that nobody wants to hear, Raider Nation doesn't want to hear. Or, you know, I wish the record was flipped. Hell, let's play 500 football, I'd be happy with that. But I think the other part about it, you know, what I'm seeing from our players is that I don't see anybody quitting. I don't see nobody quitting this building. I don't see no quit from our staff. I see everybody just trying to figure out ways and answers in a very fluid situation with injuries and everything else that's going on with our team this year.
You have about half the defensive starters out with injuries. How difficult is that to overcome?
Just like I talked about, very fluid. You know. Everybody we suit up, man, they be ready to play, because that's what seems to happen with us. Sam Webb goes in the game late, and to be honest, to his credit, hell of a job, because he didn't get a lot of reps, right? You can't give all these guys reps in practice. You go with your main 4 to 5 DBs, and you kind of give them majority of the reps. Sam's on special teams, and then you know you get a situation, JB goes down, here goes Jack Jones. All right, here goes Sam Webb, and that was no different than 2 weeks ago against Cincinnati, right, where we lose several linemen. We're down to our 8th lineman, and this is one of those things where I keep telling our staff, and we'll talk about it here shortly, man. Just keep coaching, man. Keep coaching the younger guys. We do a lot of periods throughout practice for developmental guys or guys that are not getting those reps. So hopefully get them up to speed, keep them engaged, so when their number's called, they're ready to go.
Coach, Brock Bowers continues to set records and just put his name all over the NFL books. How does that feel for you? And obviously, just talk on his development as far.
I mean, we picked the right guy in the draft. That's one. I wish those records was also part of our team record, which is more important, wins and losses. But again, tremendous talent. I mean, we're asking him to do a lot. Throw him in there. I mean, 2-minute drill. He's looking to come out. We're keeping him in there. I mean, he's fighting his tail off. We have a lot of players that's doing it, but obviously, his numbers are now, you know, on a very good historic rate, and we want to continue that. He's one of our better players. So I've said that since I've been here. Give the ball to your best players. Keep feeding them until they figure out how to stop it. We just need 10 other gentlemen to do the same thing.
What did you think about Big Mike being able to be out there with him and look like his conditioning was really good as well?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Mike, you know, again, there were some plays I know, like, a little rusty there as far as, you know, just timing. But overall, man, his attitude, his energy, his presence, guys were just, you know, it felt good to have him out there. We looked like what I thought we looked like in our 12 personnel package. And I think that was a big part of our offense. And it's going to be a big part of our offense going forward. But Big Mike out there, giving the ball on that screen there, just seeing him rumble, man, I think we all were excited. But just what I liked and what I watched throughout the entire game, win, lose, or draw, was just that smile on his face. Just happy to be around his teammates back to playing football.
It looked like it was real intentional to try to get him involved early, maybe get him a touch just so
It was.
he could get better.
It was. Wanted to get him going. Wanted everybody to feel that, because that was a good spark. That was a good, you know, not a lot of positives right now going on, but having him back and getting him going, seeing that smile was a positive.
AP, to that point, you guys went into halftime only down by 1 point, I believe. What was the mood at halftime, and is there anything from the first half that you want to keep on doing going forward?
I wish you could come in our halftime. We're rocking and rolling, man. The bad boys rocking and rolling per usual. The guys' chairs are up, they're talking, very complimentary of one another, talking about adjustments, going out starting fast, because we did a good job at the end of half. Scored, kept them from scoring, get the ball back. Okay, here we go. We're about to, you know, win the middle 8. So things like that, we can continue to work on it. We talk about that. That's really a big word for us, that middle 8. Didn't get the points that we wanted, and obviously they went down and scored. So that's where the game, we started losing at that point.
After the game yesterday, you mentioned communication on defense was an area that could have been better. That's a different type of skill than something like tackling. What's the process during the week of going to trying to improve that?
Well, kind of goes to the question earlier. When you got so many moving pieces, you just got to reiterate and over-communicate, right? So guys come in. The good part about it, our 2 safeties have been pretty gelled in the last 2 weeks with 20 and 7 in there. When we get these different corner and these different combinations at star, Darnay, you got DCAM over there at this corner. Now you got Sam Webb. You know, we got to over-communicate to these gentlemen, backwards as well. It takes all 11 to see the same thing and hear the same thing, and that has continued throughout. But it's obviously a challenge when you're switching guys in and out. But that's what we're gonna have to do and work on, in meetings today and as the week goes on.
As a guy who played linebacker in the league, what kind of challenges does it bring when somebody like Brock Bowers can come out of the backfield and you have to try to figure out how to cover him as that good of a receiver out of the backfield?
That's where you point to your safety. You don't want to cover him at linebacker. And we're seeing it, right? We saw Ramsey on him yesterday. We saw safeties on him yesterday. So we're starting to see how teams are really viewing Brock. Like I said, he's labeled a tight end, but for us, man, he's a jack of all trades. And the more we had him in the backfield yesterday, had him at Z, had him at F. I think the more we can move him around and create the matchups that we want, the better it's for him, and make that coordinator figure that out.
Any questions?
All right, thank you.